Generic greetings and welcome to Stormtrooper Chopping Simulator, the game otherwise known as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, one of the best Star Wars games I have played in modern times. Not that that is saying much, you understand. Since EA took the exclusive license, we've had Star Wars Battlefront 1, the remake, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the remake, and now this. Obviously, you've got the Old Republic and some mobile games, but we'll not count those. But I believe this is a very, very good game. I don't think it's a great game. I think it misses greatness on a couple of fronts, which I'll touch on during the video. But this is just going to be a bit of a, probably a short one, showing you the moment-to-moment and how the game plays. I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. However, there will be spoilers. So plus 10 generic spoiler alertness points here. If you don't want spoilers, then you may want to give this video a bit of a miss. Basically, if you're looking for Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy 2, then this is not that for various reasons. It does share some similarities in the sense that you have a lightsaber and chop at stuff, but there's a lot more. It's a lot more focused on timing and dodging and that sort of thing, rather than using loads of different force powers that Jedi Academy had. But either way, let's crack on into the video. As I said, spoiler alert, there will be some spoilers. I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum. In terms of the game, I have not yet completed it. I think I'm about 19 hours in. I think most people put this game into sort of a 20 to 30 hour title. It's probably going to be closer to 30 hours for me, because I just love just being in the world. It's a very pretty game, and I just like exploring and finding things, and there are lots of reasons to do that other than just the art of doing it. Either way, I'm going to land on one of these planets. You can see there are several planets around the hollow table here. We're going to land on one of the earlier ones that you go to. Now, you do go between the planets for story reasons, but you can just at any time choose to go there if you do so desire. So we will come out of hyperspace and the planet will appear, and we're going to land on Zephyr and see the massively over-engineered landing gear on the bottom of our ship called the Mantis, and you can see it all unfolds, and it looks very, very pretty. And also, this lovely tundra world is a nice place I think I would like to retire to, although to be fair, not at the current stage, because it's got a lot of Imperial forces. So we're going to go down the ramp and check this thing out, and yes, it is a very nice looking and sounding game. In terms of where we are, I can press the map button and we can see this is the Mantis here, the ship, and then we can see the map is absolutely colossal. It is a huge, huge map, and the reason you will come back to these, not just for story reasons, but also you can see on the left-hand side there, bottom left, it shows you like abandoned village and the derelict hangar. It shows you what's been explored and what secrets there are in chests, because the chests unlock things like new lightsaber parts, because you can customize your lightsaber. I'll show you that in a bit, as well as different things like I don't know, ponchos and outfits, and so we can change it to like a, you know, like a red poncho and things like that. We're going to probably put, we'll go for, not that one, that one's fine. And you can see like outfits, and you can change your BD1's colour scheme as well, and same as the Mantis, so you can cover Night Mantis, and Bounty Hunter Mantis, and Smuggler Mantis, and Racer. Ooh, that might be quite nice. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's not totally inconspicuous. Right, let's go over to the default option there, and you get these bits by exploring. So speaking of exploring, we are going to actually go, well, if I'm looking at the map, there's sections that I haven't been to, and that's because since I was last here, I've gained some more force powers, which allows me to access different areas. So we probably want to go here, this area here, because you see there's a lot of green there which is available, so we can access that. To access that, we'll need to go to that elevator. To access that elevator, we'll either have to slide down there, or we'll use that elevator there. So we'll go probably directly ahead. I know there's some enemies there. We're then going to make our way back over to here, because there's a lot of Imperial forces and also a chest that I haven't got. And I'll show you some of the fighting versus the very basic Imperial forces. And then down there, in terms of enemies, there is a very, very, very big array of enemies. So you've got your scout trooper, command trooper, stormtrooper, your commander there, ATSTs, security droids, and a lot of these you go, oh, that's really difficult, and then after you get the timing down and how to do certain things and how they react, like, you find that actually you can take on loads of them. In terms of abilities, we have loads of abilities as well. Skill tree, I'll check that out later on. But anyway, let's have a quick run. We're going to go over this way and I'll show you some of the enemies. In terms of your lightsaber, you do have one. Mine is currently glowing yellow, because you can change the colours and change all of the parts on it. You can also activate the other end, so you do have double bladed. So this is better for a lot of enemies, and that's better for single enemies. You can also do that as well, which is fairly cool. And yeah, let's just go around here. So a bit of platforming, and we can see that a stormtrooper, looks like a scout there, is currently being eaten by these things. So we need to deal with it. So we will run at it and then left click and slice it, and there we go. And you can see this is now attacking me. So as I said, I thought I wanted sort of Jedi Academy, but this is not that. It's more about your timing, learning the enemies, learning when to dodge, what attacks they have, how they attack, and that sort of thing. It's basically, if we need to have a blunt comparison, which I don't tend to like doing, but I would say it's got like, reminds me a lot of sort of the platforming from like on the Uncharted games, mixed with a lot of games I haven't played. So things like Shadows Die Twice, all the Dark Souls games, etc. Which is interesting, because when I was playing this, I'm thinking, this feels like Dark Souls, even though I've never actually played any Dark Souls game. Either way, we're going to have to deal with these. So you can see if I block at the right time, we get like a sort of parry that we get back there. I'm going to wait, I'm going to run, because I want to see if it's going to do its unblockable one. Eventually they will glow red, basically, so you can't block the attack. There we go. So you're just best off getting out of the way like so. And again, it's about your timings. In terms of force powers, we have slow, and that slows the enemy down. We have push, and we also have pull. And there you go. And it's also based on, there we go, the timing. So there we go. Block that and then slice. It goes and dies very easily. Right, so we're going to go up here. So we'll jump and double jump and the top. As I said, you do get more powers as you progress on. So we can do like a little wall run there. Is this the right way to go? I want to go over there. So what's the best way to access that? It's probably best to use that corridor, which is actually down below me now. So we'll jump down. Just a little bit of a double jump to get around there. There are, oh, other things. That looks to be some sort of droid, and it is now coming towards me. So I'm going to try and deal with it. So let's see what we can do. So it's a sort of bit of a boss here, and oh, that's Flash as well. And yeah, this is bad. Who's attacking me? Oh, there's someone there as well. Right. This is something I did not expect to see here, so let's just see if we can deal with them. I'm going to try and just do a bit of power here, and then take this guy up first, because yeah, let's hide behind that. I want to get this guy dead, and oh, that's really, really hurting. In terms of your force powers, they are in the bottom of your force bar, and also your block bar is there, and your health is on the left hand side. I'm going to use a stim here to heal myself up a little bit. I'm also going to pull this guy and then do that, and then should be able to hopefully deal with him very quickly. And no, get around here. He's going to do an unblockable attack, and you can see the enemies do sometimes do some interesting things, like you just saw there. They ow, that hurt. Yeah, this is all kinds of bad. I'm messing this up massively. Let's see if I can deal with him now. And ow, I was just punched in the face, and yeah, I've actually dealt with them as well. Yeah, you can see that there are times when the enemies can like do silly things like get stuck or move in different ways, and that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I don't think this is a great game. I think it is. It has some problems there in terms of performance. There can be some micro stuttering and things like that. God, I have to get out of the way of that, and yeah, get out of the way of that as well. Let's see if I can slice a lot. No. Okay, this is all kinds of bad. I'm totally messing this up, and get out of the way of that, and get out of the way of that, and slice, and see if I can block all of those. I'm going to go forward. Actually, I've thrown my lightsaber there. No. I'm healing, and let's just go forward. This should be that dead, and whew. There we go. That is something I didn't expect to be here. Now, the problem is that not only did I mess up that fight because it was something quite new to me, also I have used all of my stims, so I've got no stims. The way you reset them is by going to this meditate sort of bit here on the ground, and these are all the way along the maps, definitely not pyres, and you can rest, and that will not only refill my health as well as my stims, it will also put all of the enemies back on, which can be problematic. Let's go over to the skill system here, and we can see that we've got different skills as we progress on. So we've got things like burst slow. You can press R, that'll show you what it does. So burst slow like does multiple enemies around it. We've got, what's this here? Precision evade. When performing a precision evade, Cal briefly slows enemies and recovers a small amount of force. Ah, okay, right, fair enough. I must confess, which one is it? Blocking. No. There's one of them. There's one of them that when you dodge, if you get it just at the right time, you sort of kick them back. but I've never had it work, really. Anyway, we've got, what's that? Grasping pull. Holding pull allows Cal to pull on most enemies. What's that one? Howling push. Allows him to send groups of enemies flying. And that one is airborne. Oh, repulse. An airborne attack that allows Cal to push away nearby enemies. And what's that one? Switch attack. Ah, so when you switch to... Oh, Cal performs a special attack type when switching his lightsaber. Fair enough, fair enough. And I think we'll go with precision evade because that seems to be fairly useful. Eventually, you will just have all of the skills, so yeah. Anyway, we will leave that. And we'll see if there's any easy enemies to deal with. Now, I know that they're around here because I've just heard them. We heard them talk. And when this door opens, we're probably going to have to be dealing with them. So, hello there. There's some stormtroopers. So I'm going to pull him this way. And he's going to go down. And they're now dead. Is that some... can I open this box? Yes, I can open this box. And you can hear the... Oh, they're actually up there shooting me. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, I'm going to deflect the shots. You can see if I deflect at the right time, they die.
Tracking the enemy.
Tracking the enemy. Are they down the bottom there? They might be. Yeah, if you block at just the right time with the range attacks, you hit the attacks back. Whereas if you just block, you'll just, yeah, get the... Ooh, careful now. Yeah, this is what I was saying about Mrs. Greatness by just a little bit. Yeah, if you just hold block, you will deflect the shots, but it'll use up your block stuff. So I'm going to jump over here, and that guy gets chopped up, and that guy gets chopped up, and oh, I'm then get hit a couple of times there. So we'll be able to go back and... Oh, that looked like it hurt. And block. Parry. There you go. All about the timing there. So I'm just going to do a bit of an attack like this one, and you can see that these guys here, they are not too much of a problem because I've dealt with them so much that it's fairly easy. Oh, by the way, there are different difficulty settings. Oh, yes. And they said they weren't putting in... they said they weren't going to be putting in... dismemberment, and I can sort of understand why, although I guess that someone's going to mod that in. In terms of difficulty, by the way, you can change it, so I thought that was quite good. I'm currently running on Jedi Master, which I think is probably, by looking at the parry timing, incoming damage, and enemy aggression, that's mid-ground, so I believe that's probably the sort of recommended default option. Jedi Knight, a bit easier for you. Story mode, which is basically, you like the story, players want to focus more on the story and desire minimal combat challenge. New to melee action games, I should have played on that when I first started. I did come perilously close to giving up on the game because I hadn't played a lot of the games that this thing has taken so much inspiration from, so I was terrible at it until I actually got into the rhythm. Anyway, we're going to run up here and we'll have a little chat with these guys. I'm going to press slow on one of them and then we'll probably just miss both. You can actually lock onto enemies like that, but I'm not going to do that here because, quite frankly, I'm going to do that and miss. Right. So, yeah, you can see that double-bladed lightsaber is very good for multiple enemies. So, where do we need to go now? Well, as I said, I was going to try and go to that elevator. Can I get there from here? I probably can. But I think it's easier if I go back over. Also, we'll see more enemies there. So it shouldn't take long to get back. We'll just go through this door and round in. We'll have this enemy to deal with again. Right, that's actually not too much of a problem because I hopefully will know a bit more about it and not mess it up as much. Although, I have versed them before, apparently, because I didn't get an alert. So that'll be on to the data bank. Tactical guide. It'll be... What sort of forces will it be? I think it's the... Haxian Brood. Yes. Haxian Brood bounty droid. Burly and heavily built, its forceful attacks will affect even the toughest defense. Evade charge attacks to expose opportunities for back attacks. Right. So I need to get behind the thing. Don't think this double-bladed is required, although... it's actually different enemies. In this case, we've got this droid instead. These are quite difficult when you first encounter them, although I think that is sort of the default option for most things. They are quite difficult when you first encounter anything, although you can see that doesn't really take much. And oh yes, get out of the way of that, and then we'll go back and then do that, and then what you can do as well, I just hacked it up to bits, but you can also, once you get it to a lower point, you can then get your droid hack it, and now that is hacked and that is ours. So technically it will go around and do whatever it needs to do, which includes and is probably only limited to murdering anything that it finds, although it's on low health. You can also do that with some other droids as well. Anyway, so running up the top here, we're not going to waste too much time in just getting to where we need to go. We need to go across to that door there where it's all in the green. Yes, by the way, you can, if you wish, just go push and then get rid of the enemies like that off the edge, and sometimes it is the way forward, although I am going to block that and then... Oh, actually, no, we are totally out of force points, and the way you get the force points back, or your force bar fills, is by killing enemies, which sounds very dark side, but there you are. We can go here and do a bit of a rest, and that will gain everything back. We might as well. There's no reason to not go and rest, because I'm not going to go back, and we need to go... Is it this away? No, because that's the hologram in the ground. Yeah, so it is actually here. So how do we go that way? Okay. It doesn't look like it's giving me the option to go that way. So maybe I can't. It doesn't say it's available, so instead we're going to have to take this route down, and that will take us to where we need to go. Right, so this is one of the bits that I don't like about the game. It is this weird, you are, you know, doing all Jedi stuff, and then you get this weird platformy bit where it's basically just sliding along, and it is fairly comical at the best of times, plus certain camera angles like this make it very difficult to judge exactly what you need to do, and there's a lot of this in the game. There's actually quite... There's actually too much of this, I think. It works out, but... Oh, this is an enemy where... Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay, what actually happened there was I pressed pull instead of push and pulled the guy with a rocket launcher towards me. So, hi there, how's it going? I block and then... Yeah, the execution moves do look cool. We'll get some health, and I'm going to check which way do we need to go. We need to use that elevator there, which means I could probably go... up and round. We'll go that way, we'll go up that rope. But we do have this thing to deal with, and I really don't like the charge donkey. So the charge donkey is a bit annoying, although if you get it right like that, you can pretty much take it out before it does much else. So I don't know what the name of it's called, by the way. Yeah, the weird ram thing. So we're going to get up this rope, and there we go. We've got a very strong car. Ah, these things. Now, these things are a bit of a nightmare to deal with, especially if you don't get anything correct, because they are, as you can see, quite tough and strong. I'm going to lock the camera on this point and see if we can block at the right time and block at the right time. And what we need to do is... Oh, not do that! I pressed the wrong button. And, yeah, that's starting to hurt. And get out the way of that, and then finally we'll... deal with it. Yes, so that wasn't too much of a problem. However, they can hit you hard, and they really do reduce your block. So let's get a stim. I'm going to check. We're going to go up there, so we will probably... We're not going to rest. We'll go up the top now, because I have a feeling that there'll probably be a rest point at the top. Now, I don't know whether we're supposed to go here at this stage, although we don't really care. We're just exploring, and that is quite a ways up. Oh, that just shows you where the elevator will be. Right, I got you. That's why we couldn't use it before. But this is your moment-to-moment exploring, finding things. Obviously, you have a story to go along with it and reasons why you're coming here, which I will not spoil. Needless to say, it is fine. I think it misses a couple of beats here and there, and it seems to be a bit light at the beginning and heavy towards the end, which is, yeah, the pacing maybe a little bit problematic. But these are all minor niggles, like... Yeah, in terms of overall, on balance, on average, over time, very good. Anyway, we will sense an echo here. This is something that you do quite often, especially in obviously new areas.
What is this? Continue excavating. I want rare artifacts, not useless trinkets.
Apparently. So you get these echoes, and then you get the data bank unlocked, and there's a lot of stuff to read. So, new way in, and apparently I pushed, but it broke the wall that way. That's fine. And this is a new way into here. So, a bit of platforming. Ooh, bit of platforming, and we're there. So, we have... Ooh, a very nice place. It's windswept ruins, and a lot of stormtroopers about. Right, so I need to go down there. And also, there's something at the bottom there as well. Okay. we'll deal with all these stormtroopers first, I think. And then we'll check out what's down below. So, cheeky rest. This also is your save point, so if you die, you start here. Right. So I'm going to use this. And... Hi guys, I am here now, and that is a rocket launcher, so I'm going to wait for that rocket launcher to fire again. Come on, fire the rocket launcher. Out the way. And where'd the rocket go? Do you know what might have happened? Ow! That went right in my face. It might have hit these wind things here. Yeah, couldn't be bothered with those guys. Right, so let's stand here, and I will wait for their next attack. So, waiting for their lights to come on, and here we go, and I will send it back. And this guy will probably think, well, his mate's just died. Shall I try the same thing? Maybe we'll get a different result. Yeah, it didn't exactly work for him. Right, so where is this thing that we want to go for? It is down here, and it is a little cheeky push, and we have an echo. It looks like to be a vase of some kind.
Getting a strange feeling from this one. Ancient Zepho gathered here. I wonder why.
I wonder why. Zepho rituals and remnants of ancient wares crafted by the Zepho, perhaps used for rituals. Who knows? We won't know. We don't know. And we're going to go back over. So after doing a bit of the old murder, we're going to go up here and whoa, and oh, very close to not being alive on that one. And oh, by the way, yes, if you do fall off, I'll just show you what happens. You fall off. Basically, you lose a little bit of health, and then you go back to roughly where you fall off. So, quite forgiving on that front. So, we want to go... Well, no. We are going down here. I wouldn't say we want to go. So, this is another ice cave, and... Hell's bells, what's going on there? So, we'll dodge up here, over and around, slide along, and... Oh, that's pushing us off to the... so it was pushing us off to the side there, so we have to be aware of that. So, get across. We'll go over to the far left this time because that wind was pushing us over there. So, that is now fine. We're going to come along here, and the camera, I really wish would... So, push to there. I really wish the camera would play ball a bit more. So, we've got the wall running here, and as you can see, it is... grab onto the rope, and we are down in this cave. Question is, why are we here? What's the reason for it? I don't know. But, it's pretty much where we came down. Yep, it was just a shortcut. That's all it was. So after all that, we've got to pretty much where we started off with. Because, hang on. Took the elevator... Then, yeah, this is where we went up there, and that's where we came back down. So it's just another way of getting here, I guess so. Either way, that has been an interesting look at some enemies there. I'm gonna go double bladed, and while they're taking care of that, I'll just do that. And yeah, you can see that guy's not gonna last long. And get out of the way! Ow, ow! These guys are really annoying to deal with because they. As you can see, attack really, really fast. So block, 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 block. I'm just using my block mate. Yeah, I'll go for single. And block. Yeah. To be honest, I find that just being overly aggressive on these is sort of the way to go. Although that didn't seem to be working. Yeah, maybe just sort of stun with it and ow, 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 ow. Okay.
Now.
I have no idea what this game would be like on the rock hard mode. Yeah. Okay, maybe just getting the blocks right would work out. Story of my life in this game. Either way, that has been a bit of Star Wars Jedi's Fallen Order. As I said, on average, on balance, I think it is very good. Very, very fun. Loving just wandering around in another Star Wars game that is beautiful looking, interesting, just fun to be in. The combat I really didn't get until a couple of hours in, and then I went, it's clicked now, and you get to appreciate it. All of the enemies and all of the multiple enemies, as I've said, you've shown just a tiny bit of it, and this is just one planet out of, I I haven't finished the game, so I don't know whether there's another planet. I've been to 5 planets in total. I'm not too sure if there's others. Perhaps there is, perhaps there isn't. But you do visit the planets multiple times, and you can explore, get different powers, and try not to be eaten by one of those. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed this little short look at the game. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings. That was close.